Hello and welcome back to Lutheran Witness Podcast. Here on the Lutheran Witness Podcast, we read for you the articles shared on the Lutheran Witness website. That's witness.lcms.org. Check us out over there. You can actually read a whole bunch of other stuff that we have shared, especially during the Christmas season. We have articles about church shopping, about how to celebrate, as we're going to talk about today, the 12 days of Christmas, and another great article on all the feast days that come up following Christmas. So check out the website, witness.lcms.org. We also want to make sure we thank our podcast partners, kfuo.org, Christ for You, anytime, anywhere. Check them out at kfuo.org. They're a great organization that's helping us with this podcast, and they do a great job proclaiming the gospel on the airwaves and in podcasts. So check them out, kfuo.org. Our article for today is by Joy Pullmann, and it's titled, How to Celebrate the 12 Days of Christmas with Your Family. To talk about celebrating the 12 full days of Christmas, one must first talk about celebrating Advent. To do otherwise would be like talking about childbirth without talking about pregnancy. How each one of these goes depends on what came before. It is difficult to gin up another 2 weeks of festivity if you've already spent 4 weeks eating cookies. If you really want to celebrate 12 days of Christmas, prepare by abstaining as practicable during Advent. This isn't to spiritually burden people. We live in a world that schedules Christmas concerts and festivals immediately after Thanksgiving. So if we're going to go to such things or our children are performing in them, it must be when they're available. Some have extended family who want to celebrate the entire month of December, and we love them too. So I suggest simply deferring as much feast-like behavior as possible for the sake of enjoying the feasting to its fullest in its time. Consider deferring as much gratification as possible to the 12 days. If you can go to your local performance of the Nutcracker after Christmas, pick those tickets. If you are part of a church that likes to carol, get involved and suggest that caroling happens during the 12 days, or do a second run of caroling then. I have found this simple choice to live liturgically during Advent to be a wonderful stress reliever, as well as a major assist in helping me focus on reflection and preparation during December. Once Christmas has arrived, how best to celebrate uproariously for a whole 12 days? Spread out the enjoyment instead of packing it all into one day. Plotting out the 12 days of Christmas in advance, as the Catholic writer Lila Lawler notes in her wonderful new book, Summa Domestica, builds anticipation and keeps you on track. Deferring things to the actual Christmas season helps populate it with festivities. As a mom of 6 young children, I find that one festive activity planned per day is a great balance for us of fun with rest. So after I pencil in any scheduled activities that other people control, then I schedule my own activities for the other days. Most of these are simple but special activities at home. First, I anchor our Christmas celebration plans around our church's services. Hopefully your church has a beautiful Christmas Eve and Christmas Day service like ours does. Our church also offers daily services with Christ's body and blood during the 12 days of Christmas. Since Christmas is a high festival, there is no better way to celebrate than partaking in Christ's glorious gifts of word and sacrament. Since we Lutherans confess that hearing the word and receiving Christ's body and blood is our highest good, confessing that with our words and deeds and attending sacramental church service is a deep and beautiful expression of our faith, tradition, and identity. If your church does not offer these traditional Christmas services, consider gathering a few families who would commit to showing up and together ask your pastor if you could all celebrate the 12 days or a few select saints or other Christmas festival days with more divine services. Asking for more spiritual instruction and nourishment from Christ's own precious body and blood would be the best Christmas present ever for a faithful pastor from his congregation. If that is not an option for you, I recommend daily family worship during the 12 days of Christmas using the Treasury of Daily Prayer from Concordia Publishing House. We find that good times for us to do family Bible and catechism readings are right after breakfast or dinner. And now for ideas for festive activities besides worship. We mostly plan simple activities that differ from our everyday routines, such as making gingerbread houses or some other Christmas craft, ice skating, sledding, or going on nature walks to our favorite nearby nature areas. We might have a train set or Lego building competition, poetry readings in front of our gas fireplace, or sit down to a long and complicated, or short and exciting, board or card game. We spread out the opening of gifts over the 12 days. This prevents the overwhelming present avalanche of opening them all on Christmas Day and helps the recipients, especially children, feel and express gratitude by spending one day to enjoy and absorb each present. In some years, Depending on how little the babies are and how practical this is for our budget, I also plan mini trips that are hard to fit into our weekly rhythm otherwise. These would include a day or overnight trip to a nearby city to visit a zoo, public gardens, museums, outdoor markets, and other independent bookstores. Often, these mini trips will include visits to family or from family or to friends we don't get to see often enough otherwise. One idea I'm saving for when my kids are a bit older is reserving a room at a hotel with a pool and spending the whole day swimming. We also host simple parties during the 12 days of Christmas. The time between Christmas and New Year is often very quiet, with work slowing and school often on break, so a simple party is just the thing. I make hosting low-key by making large crock-pot recipes or easy simmer-all-day soups with crackers or rolls if I'm offering a meal, or pulling out all the special treats I've squirreled away during grocery shopping in Advent to deck out a hot chocolate, gingerbread man, nachos, or Rice Krispies bar. All of these sorts of activities have such a luxury feeling about them during the 12 days of Christmas. Our family does such things in our everyday life, but with the crunch between work and school and other obligations, the extra margins of time during Christmastide makes them extra peaceful and joyful. For me, it's exactly what brings up the magical Christmas feeling, and it perfectly matches this season's remembrance of the Holy Family, created by the incarnation of Christ. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this article by Joy Pullmann on how to celebrate the 12 days of Christmas with your family. Please also visit the website witness.lcms.org to learn about our upcoming issues and articles, and to enjoy learning or to take the opportunity to learn even more about how to interpret the world from a Lutheran perspective.